Hey everyone, my name is Patrick Sumner. Today I'll be discussing climatic variables that affect air quality in the DFW Metroplex during drought with an analysis of the urban heat island. So the DFW region is among the fastest growing in the United States, and it's expected to have a population of 15 million by the year of 2050. And so this is of concern because the region is prone to drought during summer months, and with an increase in population, the concern for an amplification of decreased air quality is of concern. And so I'll be quantifying the correlation of carbon monoxide, ozone, particulate matter 10 and 2.5 to meteorological variables such as wind speed, temperature, wind direction, and solar radiation. I'll also predict the spatial distribution of air quality, specifically ozone to temperature in DFW, and I'll also quantify a correlation between the urban heat island to the drought classification and the Bowen ratio. So to do this, I collected hourly data from CAM stations set up by the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality that collect data on the concentration of air pollutants as well as meteorological variables. I also utilized ArcGIS to create interpolations via the Kriging method, and then I also utilized the Palmer Drought Severity Index and the heat fluxes via the NCEP2. So right here is the characterization of the wind direction here in DFW. So we have a lot of southerly winds earlier in the day, but as the evening approaches, we have a lot of southeasterly winds from the Gulf. And so right here, via the sunrise and sunset, as you would expect, the solar radiation peaks at midday when the sun's directly overhead. So here are the physical CAM stations I've used in this study. And so for this right here is the wind speed throughout the day. So we have higher wind speeds during the daylight hours. And this red line represents the urban temperature taken from CAM 60, which is here in the heart of Dallas. And note that it is higher than the rural station, for example, and so that was taken from CAM 71. And so what I did was I quantified the correlation between each air pollutant to the wind speed in July of 22 hourly. So I did a Pearson correlation to get an R value, and then to test the significance, I calculated a p-value as well. And so this is the spatial distribution of ozone and temperature in the DFW Metroplex, and this is done at 12 o'clock noon, and that's just being ozone has the highest concentration then due to it being a photochemical reaction. And so this in July of 2010, which is a very standard year, and so we have higher temperatures in the southeast, but as we go north, the temperatures decrease, but the ozone concentration increases. And so looking at July of 2022, we have very high temperatures here in the city, and the concentration of ozone does increase as we go up to the north. So doing a correlation from the urban heat island magnitude, which is greatest at midnight, due to that being the greatest difference in temperature between the urban and rural areas due to a difference in cooling rates. And so there is not a significant correlation between the urban heat island magnitude and the Palmer Drought Severity Index for years in the 21st century. And so there is, though, a stronger correlation between the Bowen ratio and the urban heat island magnitude. And it's not a significant value, but it is a greater correlation. And so the most significant correlations between the variables are carbon monoxide and wind speed, ozone and temperature, and then the particulate matter, both 10 and 2.5, to the wind direction. And so that could just because the ozone is a secondary pollutant, and so the degradation of the ozone, for example, with NOx, causes the ozone concentration to be decreased in the urban areas compared to rural areas. And so the distribution of ozone and temperature is more consistent in drought conditions compared to non-drought conditions. And so future work includes quantifying the seasonal fluctuations in air quality, relation of air quality to heat fluxes, and the impact of past droughts on the air quality in DFW. Thank you.